Halloween Horror Nights 31 has sadly come to an end.
And this week we are joined by Blake Braswell to discuss his work on the concepts for 5 of this year's houses.
This is episode 531 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Hello, everyone. So we have Lee.
Hello, everyone.
We have Chris.
Hey!
We have Michelle.
What's up?
And you've already heard we have the lovely Blake with us. Hi, Blake.
Hello, everybody.
It's nice to get you on in an unofficial capacity. Maybe we can probe you for some stuff that you couldn't talk to us about before.
Oh,
We're all official.
Wow. How are you doing, Blake?
I'm doing really well, actually.
Good. So, for those of you who don't know, Blake Braswell is the former show director for Universal Orlando. He moved from Universal over to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, to a place called Anarchista, which I like saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lovely name. Lovely place. Lovely mountain.
Yes. We were
It is
looking, weren't
beautiful.
we?
Yes, we watched
We
the
were
vlog the
looking.
other day and it looks absolutely gorgeous.
So, get your spare room ready. We're coming.
Speak to him 5 years from now, and he's going to have quite a different accent.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We'll see, because I was born in Eastern Carolina, so I had quite the accent in theater school.
I don't know, Blake. I mean, you have to admit there is some deep Southern accent up there in Gatlinburg.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like where I grew up was very rural. And then when I'm out here and I'm hearing that thick of an accent, I'm like, yeah, bud. That's good.
I mean, it is thick.
Just wear earplugs when you go out, you'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. I love it. It's so funny because, I mean, you're not talking about, well, what am I saying? You know, half this group here is over in the UK, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. The distance isn't that far from where I grew up. Yeah, the accent's completely different. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
I mean, it's a little different. I know over in, you guys, like, it's like every 2 miles, it's very different.
Literally.
But,
Wait, where are you from, Blake, originally?
I'm from Red Oak, North Carolina, on the eastern side. Sort
Okay.
of a couple hours from the beach, as it were.
Okay.
My parents now live over in Western Carolina. They're just a couple hours over the mountain for me.
Okay, I'm in Aiken, South Carolina, so I'm a Carolinian too, just the southern kind.
Oh yeah, I know you're in that awesome Carolina that doesn't quite figure out how to make the barbecue as good as North Carolina, but that's fine.
Oh, shots fired.
Oh, okay, I see how it's gonna go today.
Oh, this is
All
going to be a
right.
good episode.
Yeah, Michelle, do you need some spray for that burn?
All right.
Well, I think maybe we should get on with things before.
Barbecue challenge.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
Oh, I'm quite happy to
Before
be a
this-
taste tester.
Before this outbreaks further, Blake, what made you leave Orlando? And for those that don't know what it is, can you tell us about Anarchista?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, like you said, I was over having the time of my life at Universal as well, senior show director before I left. Having a blast over there. Working on Halloween, working on Christmas, working on new shows, working on what have you, tons of stuff that some that never saw the light of day and I still can't talk about.
Oh,
But,
no.
like,
No.
I know. Those NDAs, they're tricky. But
No one listens to this. It's fine. Just tell us.
wink, wink. Well, actually, part of it I already told you. My parents actually they only live a couple of hours over the mountain, as it were. It's still a tough choice because my sister, she actually still works down at Universal, and she is on the technical side of
Okay.
the marquee events.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I used to dream up how to do it, and she'd come yell at me, going, "What are you thinking? You can't do that in reality." and then have to figure out how we're gonna make this stuff happen for real. She's awesome to work with. So that was hard, both from the friends that I had made who'd become like family, especially my show director now, but at my time, assistant show director Kelly Malik, who's extremely good friends with her. And then, of course, as I said, they're with my sister. But the opportunity came up. They had kind of they just celebrated Anarchista, their 5th anniversary this past September. I think it was September 1st, actually. And they were looking to create a more robust sort of themed seasonal program. So Halloween, Christmas, ratcheting up those kind of things, finding new special events that we could do. So they were looking for a creative director of special events, but then parentheses, they're also looking to build an entertainment department because it didn't exist yet.
Right.
So it was kind of exciting to to be a part of something that's sort of starting from the ground up. Anakeesta is beautiful. It's on top of a mountain in Gatlinburg, and the founders, they are not theme park people, which is remarkable when you walk around the place because it's designed beautifully. They are architectural landscape engineers, and they basically they lived, or they had a vacation home. One of them growing up right next to, or actually on the mountain of Anakeesta, what would be called Anakeesta. And when the mountain overall came up for sale, it was zoned commercial. They just didn't want it to become like a hillbilly putt-putt or something like that. I just that's not what they wanted. They wanted the something that was more authentic and sort of the represented the natural beauty of the Smoky Mountains. And so they came up with this brilliant idea about wandering through and like sort of almost glamping amongst the trees. And then they closed on the property. And 2 days later, you may not know about this, there was a wildfire in Gatlinburg, and it wiped out like the top of the mountain, took down all the trees. And it was really bad for Gatlinburg. And they had to completely rechange their plans. And so they changed, then instead of being amongst the trees, more at the views, because you have all these great views. And I should say, like, the mountain wasn't naked. It was kind of the top that got burnt. It didn't go down the other side of it. And so they sort of really quickly changed their concept, and it was going to be this cool place to ride a ski lift up and sort of see the beauty of the Smokies. They had worked in some restaurants before, and they had a small restaurant or did some small food there. And then it got packed real fast. And then so they like doubled their size, and then people really enjoyed it, and it was still full. So they had to double their size again. So there's stuff that's barely a couple years old that's up there right now. And they actually just announced their next expansion, which we open in 2 phases over the next 2 years, and we'll double basically the size of the guest area again.
Wow.
By 2024.
Wow.
And they come up with they're funny because they're like, we don't come from theme park world. We're not very creative. And I'm like walking around it. I'm like, shut up. This is beautiful. Are you kidding? So in a nutshell, the big difference is, as I've worked at Universal, I've worked at Disney, I worked at SeaWorld. See, I never got to say those names when I talked to you guys before.
No, I didn't know you worked at both of those.
And, this isn't a judgment. This is how it is. You're creating stuff for people that are like, come in, go.
Yeah.
Be wild, be entertained, go experience all these things. And then here, it's a different vibe. You sort of get off the ski lift, or we have these Ridge Rambler trucks that'll drive you to the top of the mountain, and people get off and go, oh, if they're used to that, they're like, what am I supposed to do? And we're like, wow, chill out. See that rocking chair? Grab a beer.
Yeah,
Look
I must
at that
admit,
mountain.
having watched that
You
vlog,
just sold me off.
that's kind of how I felt about it, because I'm like, sort of knowing you and going there, I expected it to be kind of that theme park thing, and you watch it and you go, like, what to do there? Because it's not like you're so used to rides and shows and all the rest of it, and it's not that at all.
It screamed. It didn't just speak to me; it screamed to me. Because it's just so green and lovely.
Gatlinburg and that whole area is a totally different vibe. Like I'm one of those that has to go, right? Like my vacations are almost always theme park oriented. So when my family wants to go to Gatlinburg or to the mountains or any of that area, it's hard for me to just sit in the rocking chair.
Because you want to go to Dollywood.
I want to go to, not really. I mean, I will. I'm like,
I really want to go to Dollywood.
But so there's like a strip there where there's, lots of shopping, lots of like dinner shows and things like that to do. But yeah, I get it. It's hard to just sit up on the top of the mountain and relax sometime for those of us who are used to having lots of stuff to do.
I think it helps that you take the ski lift up and realize that there is no fast way down.
Right.
So you literally start to see people like just deflate into the situation. Like, all right, this is cool. I'm going to walk up this tower, go on a clear day, you can sail away to Kentucky or North Carolina from up there. And now I will say they brought in Blake, and I'm a theater guy. So I'm on the works to get some entertainment situations that will be happening. So there'll be more of that going on. And, we're knee deep in looking at next Halloween. We did a very fun Halloween village this year.
Yes.
Very cute, but
yeah.
Of course.
And then right now, because you mentioned the shows down like in Pigeon Forge down the street.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At night, everybody kind of empties out of Gatlinburg and they go there. So we're trying to push for a nighttime experience. So
Yeah.
like we're doing all the lighting in the park, and we just opened this this weekend actually, Astralumina with Moment Factory. They are awesome. They're out of Montreal. Have you guys heard the name before? They're like
No.
a multimedia design company. They worked on things like projections for some of the Potter stuff. They do amazing stuff. And if you look up their Lumina walks, they've been doing them for like the last 15, 20 years, where they go out in nature and they build this night walk experience that tells a story. It's through audio and lights. There's like this. It's like a living art exhibit that you walk through and you sort of get a story that's told to you, but like a good piece of art, it's not laid out to you. You kind of have to put the pieces together.
Okay.
And we just opened the first one in America.
Wow.
Open here. Yeah, they're in Europe and Canada. So the first one in the
that's cool.
States just opened here. And it's so hard to explain. And you will see some pictures probably floating around and go, that looks beautiful, but like it's really cool when you go through it. It's like this walking through an art exhibit, but you're on the side of the mountain in the middle of the woods at night.
Well, my family will actually be there this winter, so maybe I'll have to come and review Anarchista for the
For
UUOP.
sure, yeah.
You can like holiday times.
We haven't set in stone, but while it's chilly and we can run the fireplace, so yes.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, because then you can see Astralumina when you're here.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a different way of life. I will say that. They were like,
I'm
hey, the
sure.
traffic can get a little rough over here. I'm like,
Yeah, right.
Have you been on I-4? Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
yeah.
Laughs in Florida.
Exactly.
Florida.
I mean, there's 2 days that like there's like a car event that goes on twice a year that
Oh yeah, my
It
dad
ju-
likes to go to that.
the rod run or whatever it's called.
Mhm.
So basically I just have to go the back way or the long way around the mountain. Now that turns the trip into an hour, but it's a guaranteed hour and you're driving through the mountain. It's beautiful. When I moved to where we lived out in Champions Gate in Florida, it was a 35 minutes for me to get into Universal. When I moved, it was an hour and a half. So I was like, nah, you guys, it's all right. don't worry about me with the traffic. This is fine.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So to save any potential awkwardness, we're going to tackle each of the 5 houses you worked on in ascending order from where they are on the UUOP listeners ranking.
Yeah, so don't
list.
blame us.
So it's the listeners' fault.
Gotcha.
So this means we are starting with Spirits of the Coven.
Because before
Are
we
we going lower to higher? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
you haven't
Gotcha.
visited Horror Nights this year, have you yet, Blake? You're obviously not
No,
going
I-
to get to make it either, are you?
I was really trying. It's like literally it's gonna be a very last minute thing if I can.
Yeah.
The opening of Astralumina sort of took up more
Yeah.
time than I
Right.
anticipated.
Obviously.
I don't know why I didn't anticipate more. I've been in enough openings to know that stuff always is a perpetual run through insanity to get to an opening day.
Yes.
You also just moved into your house, so
Uh-huh.
it's acceptable.
Yeah, of
Blake.
course.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see all my friends.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spirits of the Coven. I won't tell you where it is exactly on the list, but it's not high.
Which list is this?
This was, to be fair, on every list I've seen.
It's funny because I was like going through lists today just now, and I was like trying to figure out where things were sitting before I talk to you guys. So I was like, ooh.
It's not been very well received, and that's nothing about the concept. I'm sure it just.
Hang
So
on.
the concept was brilliant.
It's a very strong year though, and I think a lot of places aren't out of dislike as well. It's just they've got to be placed somewhere, and that's how I was placing stuff.
I think you're being.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
I'm being
I
diplomatic.
think you're being very diplomatic. It's very sparsely actor inhabited, is what I'll say. The first half is very good. The second half, there's not a lot of scare actors in it.
So Blake, what exactly was your involvement with the creation of this house?
So for Coven, I developed the and of course we always partner with our scenic designer, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But oh gosh, so I think we've talked about this before, where we kind of go into a room and we start going through ideas and you like say speakeasy witches, and then you you list out a bunch of things that you think would like work, and then you do that like several times until you have just dozens and dozens and dozens or more ideas, and then you pick the ones that kind of float at the top, and then you and a show director and a scenic designer will go grab yours to go pick. And sometimes it's one that you really helped sort of the initial idea on. Sometimes you actually kick one off and then it goes to someone else and you pick one they kicked off. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing I can say about working with that art and design team is that sometimes it's very hard to remember whose ideas it was.
Right.
But we kicked off. I mean, I've had an affinity for the 20s. I mean, you guys know I did Vamp 55, I did Vamp 85. I really wanted to get a Vamp 25 in at some point.
That would
I would have
that'd be
loved
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
And do like a flappers kind of thing.
that
And
would
when
be amazing.
and for the life of me, I can't remember how the speakeasy thing, who that was that came up. But when it started to come up, and it was like, I thought, well, could you do it with that? And then it was the whole making the gin, the bathtub gin, making the illegal hooch during Prohibition in the United States. That it was like, well, no, it's got to be witches because they make witches brew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and started sort of rolled forward with this idea. And actually, I worked with this one literally. The day was my last day. People were like, so easy last day. I was like, oh, no. I finished the treatment to this house and like handed it over like I was done.
Wow.
I'm not going to leave my buddies hanging.
No.
And of course, that was late March, somewhere in there. So, I mean, there are going to be changes, but like looking at the videos, I think the layout of the house and everything was pretty similar. We didn't quite know, I think, where it was going to go
Right.
in the beginning, or whether it would be a tent, whether it be a sound stage. We weren't very sure on that.
Blake, when are those things decided as far as like horror nights? Do you have all the concepts and then decide where they're going? Or do you generally, are there times when concepts are written with a very specific soundstage or a tent in mind?
It's it literally, it's an annoying answer to give you. It just depends because it's happened every which way.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's a last minute thing. Sometimes it's from the beginning. Oh, this we're going to do, as I'm sure we'll get to Dead Man's Pier. That set requires we have to be in a sound stage.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? So it just kind of varies. And this one had a set that could kind of go either way,
Yeah.
So that's where we were location wise, I believe with that right when I stepped away. But as far as like, the who was in there, sort of the idea of the story, and the technical treatment and call out stuff, I got pretty much all the way to there. I mean, really, actually, we started casting auditions like the next month or something like that after that. So we're pretty far along.
Yeah, because looking at that, it didn't necessarily need to be in a soundstage at all. We probably would have got away with being in a tent. Because those tents aren't tents really anymore, are they? They're like,
I was going to say, I can't really tell a difference. Once
No,
I'm
I must
immersed, I'm
admit-
like, where?
No.
What?
They used to be a distinct difference, you could tell. And then once everybody started figuring out how to work those tents, they stopped. I mean, sometimes the tents felt longer than the sound stages, depending on the house.
yeah, it's just, like we went through it the first night we went through, and it just, with the first half, we loved it. The whole speakeasy thing was
beautiful.
phenomenal. And I was like, this
Another huge 20s fan here. so-
potentially has the chance to be my favorite house. And then we hit that sort of midpoint where you start to descend down into the kind of vaults underneath it, and there was barely anybody there.
Yeah, there's no progression of story, which was a shame. And then all of a sudden it was like the end point. It was like, wait, how have I got here? And we just figured that maybe early days, because I know there was some problems with enough actors in the early days.
I was there just the past 2 weekends, and there were still not very many scare actors in that house, and I don't know why.
Do you guys know if that's like, because I don't know, is that been a general thing? Like staffing's just hard, period, anywhere?
Yes.
Staffing
I
has been an issue.
appreciate that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're dealing with it. That's always rough because like that's a hard one to. You can't fix that.
No, you can't.
But then I was told that, like, when we went through it and we did it through our RIP tour, I won't say who told us, but someone I trust was like, no, that's it, fully staffed. And we were like, oh, okay. Strange.
And you guys came opening weekend?
The weekend after.
Weekend after. See, that should be on fire by then. But also, I mean, again, there's so many things that could have occurred between here and there. I'm not really sure. Now, in retrospect, I actually think that I know why we did what we did, and we wanted to get to the catacombs, the idea of like where they ship out the hooch and all that kind of stuff. Probably clearer in a film with that story. And it might have been more fun to just stay in a speakeasy and stay more in that vibe through the whole thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Instead of getting to the part where they're, illegally shipping out the witch's brew. Like I get absolutely what the story is.
Yeah.
But might have been better. I'm a big fan of aesthetic and vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a quote I don't know if this was like somebody on LinkedIn or something like that works in the entertainment, but they were like, I wish sometimes cue lines for the attractions would think a little more about a vibe than so much story that it kind of gets lost sometimes. And
Yeah.
I was like, I like that because I like vibes.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
why for me, it's like, oh, speakeasy, witches, 1920s.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's do this. That's
Yeah,
the vibe.
Exactly. It's like, I wonder how many people, other than the real hardcore fans, go to Horror Nights and know the stories to and most of the houses, to be fair.
That's true. And my first time going through this year, 2 weeks ago, was on an RIP tour. So I got the backstory before I got to go through it, which was cool. So he said that your people come into the speakeasy, they're lured in, and they're sacrificed for their blood to make the witch's brew. And I was like, sweet, it's going to be gory. And then there was like no gore. I was like, no, there should have been like men being decapitated in this house by the witches and girl power.
Michelle.
Yes. No, I was all up for the girl power. And then I was like, there was no gore. Dang it.
Says the girl who a few years ago was peeing her pants, just the thought of going into a house.
That's very true.
Yes. And now I'm like, murder. Yes. Give me all the dead people.
I've unleashed a monster.
What have you created?
Oh, tell me.
That's awesome.
Well, the idea of any male that you saw in there that was alive, they were supposed to be servants of the witches.
Yeah.
And it looked like I was watching a video and I was like, I can't tell if something changed because there was, they were supposed to have all their lips sewn shut and all this kind of stuff as if they were. So, and I couldn't tell if that actually was occurring or not. But yeah, I think living in the 1920s speakeasy vibe was probably the
Was
thing to
so
stick
cool.
through the
Yeah.
whole piece.
Yeah.
As opposed, and then maybe you can do something like at the very end, and that would
Right.
make more sense than such a hard shift. But you live, you learn.
Hey, that beginning where the little door slides open and it says password.
That's so
I love
cool.
I love that.
That
Yeah.
was cool.
I would have liked it to have actually ended and opened up into an actual speakeasy.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Serving
and me
real
both.
drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. 'cause-
like do that absolutely.
yeah.
Right. Like, why couldn't I buy this
Yeah.
witch's brew?
Oh,
The one thing we noticed this year, Blake, like every entrance to every house was so well done
Oh,
this
amazing.
year.
Yes.
So well done, every one of them. And this again was even though it's been low down on a lot of people's lists, that entrance walking into like outside the speakeasy and then in was just so
Yeah.
cool.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah, the facades for all, actually to be honest, all of them, like they're
Yeah.
really, really good.
Usually there's a few. This year, every single one of them was phenomenal.
But this house, when
Yep.
it hit, it was stunning. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. I agree with what you said. I think
aesthetically, the speakeasy side of it,
if
it
there's-
just spoke to me.
if they'd have stuck with
Yeah.
that whole thing, I think you're right. It probably would have worked better.
Yeah,
Mm.
you live in that the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I did enjoy some of the smuggling portions of it, like when they're
The
slicing the bottle out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like slicing the bottle out, the mine carts, all that stuff. I actually enjoyed that just because I love that Prohibition era style getting hooch around. So did really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I think if you had an opening that was not a speakeasy that led into that, you'd dig it more. I think people like the idea of the speakeasy so much they just want to stay in.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
That's
Oh,
very
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
It's a victim
And
of its
the,
own success.
The smuggling the bottles, by the way, that's just because we found some gross pictures of them stuffing bottles into pig carcasses that they had tried to smuggle. So that was all like historical. That was
That was
all
perfect.
Yeah,
Cool.
almost everything you'd see in those tunnels, as far as like what they were trying to do, is based off of something that they actually did smuggle in the hooch.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And now I live in the land of moonshine, so it's like
Full circle.
That's awesome. All right. Well, next up, so one we know you only worked on the layout and scare locations of, and that is Hellblock Horror. So tell us more about your involvement with that one.
good. I'm glad this one's early on because I don't know a lot about this one. I actually was like looking. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know the
Okay.
story or anything. And as
Okay.
I was watching it, and that was just I was working with the scenic designer on sort of the layout and placement of a lot of things in there. Prior, which is kind of an unusual way to do it, but just like needs kind of necessitated that's how it worked.
Right.
Oh.
So just so yeah, that one I was involved with like the least for that one. So because I was looking at it, I was like, oh, I hate this video I'm watching. I can't, it's hard to grasp what the story is.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out what was going on, but there were some fun creatures in there. I
Yeah,
saw.
because the interesting thing about Hellblock, if you believe all the speculation maps and stuff, this was supposed. I'm not asking you to comment, Blake, unless of course you feel like you want to. This
I
was
love that. What
Smoothly.
Plant the seed, buddy.
This was meant to be Evil Dead and was switched out to Hellblock sort of
You didn't
really
tell me
late
that.
on. Apparently Sam Raimi didn't want it at the event this year. I know you've still got friends there.
Look
I
how
know.
quiet you made Blake, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. If you don't want to comment, that's fine.
Leave
I'm
our
just
guests
telling you
alone,
what was.
Lee.
I'm just telling you what was out there.
It's a shame this isn't video. You'd see me just having a big old sip of my water bottle like it's
Because obviously you're talking about working on this sort of 6 to 7 months ago, or longer ago. So that
Longer
makes me
ago, that's
think
really
that
bad.
yeah,
English.
jeez. Yeah,
I
I guess
know.
I've been here for 6 months, so yeah.
interesting. It was low down a lot of people's list. It was okay. Like the
I
whole
honestly
sort of
like this one.
Horror Nights monsters in prison. It was one of them that if you kind of connected with sort of one of your favourite monsters from a house from prior. So there was a section where the Yeti was in it from 29, and that's my
I gotcha.
Yes,
Okay,
I
cool.
finally got to see that, Lee,
and that
last
is my
weekend. So,
favourite
yeah.
house of all time. So when we did it, the first night he wasn't there. The next night we did it, the Yeti was there, and I was just like, I am so happy right now.
I've just
Oh, that
realised.
Yeti, so happy.
Yeah.
That house was so great.
Oh, Yeti was
It was.
amazing.
It really was.
So yeah, I mean, Hellblock, like prison thing. So really, it's actually more like a monster zoo.
I suppose it
Instead
is
of
for
just
us.
It
going-
was. Yeah.
And now,
I mean, sometimes we literally call that monster stew, actually.
Yeah.
Creatures we're gonna have. It's time for a monster stew.
Nice.
Which sometimes works out to your advantage because if you it always depends, right? But if you have enough different creatures, it kind of throws off enough variety that sometimes there's a little bit of something for everybody. Sometimes you don't make anybody happy.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty normal in entertainment, period.
yeah.
But it gives you a chance to have a little variety with the creatures. I mean, I'm sure we make costuming and makeup nuts then because it's
I bet.
a lot more pain in the butt of very distinct different costumes at that point.
Yeah.
Because it felt like the sort of on-land version of Depths of Fear from 29.
Are you upset me again?
It was because it felt like it was the whole thing about them getting ready to blow the thing up, and that's basically how Depths of Fear went.
Yeah. It's like you were at the end of that movie
Yeah.
where it was time to get to the escape pod.
It kind
Get to
of
the escape pod.
it kind of felt the same kind of storyline, but in a prison rather than under the water.
Did they kill another dog in that one?
No.
Oh, because that
Oh,
made
I know.
everybody mad. It was
Yes.
very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can behead people, but don't kill a dog.
Don't let
Yeah,
the dog get
kill a
cut down by-
child. You can do
Yeah.
anything you want. Not a dog.
Dead children, all good.
We just can't leave the dogs alone.
Yeah.
Pigs, okay. Dogs,
Yeah.
no.
Now
Yeah.
the next one is one of my personal favorites, and that is Fiesta del Chupacabra.
Oh yes.
Yeah, man.
Gorgeous.
I'm going to
Gorgeous.
say, right, this, considering we're working in ascending order,
Uh-huh.
I am very disappointed with our listeners of where
Oh, I
this is
know.
on the
I think
list.
we're quitting now.
It's not as high up as it may appear on this list of houses you worked on, and I am very, very disappointed in you people.
Let me tell you though, Lee, and in everyone's defense, including my own, because it was low on my list too, the run-throughs on this one are very hit and miss.
Okay.
That
Very
will
hit and
factor
miss.
in.
Got to hit them just
Because-
right.
Yeah.
Yes, because my first weekend, I went through it twice. I don't want to say it was awful because it just wasn't there. There wasn't very many scare actors. It was just weird. And then last weekend I went through it and I hit every single scare and it was full of scare actors. And I got to actually see the Chupacabra a couple of times. I didn't before. So it was better.
Kind of important if you see that. Yeah.
But it's very hit and miss for sure.
I must have been very lucky.
I loved seeing American Werewolf in London again. Sorry, I should have said that.
Well, but not quite. I mean, like, yes, I get what you're saying, but actually done differently in
Yeah.
a way that I don't know that anybody would notice, but we noticed behind the scenes. Yeah.
I would just like to say that when we did American Werewolf, I think I saw one.
Oh, I didn't even see
I
one.
missed it every time. This time, Chupacabra, every single one I got.
Mhm.
Every run through, I got every animatronic. I was very happy. I loved
Excellent.
I loved this.
So what was your
Loved
involvement with this
this.
one then, Blake?
So this one, I worked with the scenic designer, Manuel Cordero, and he did Chupacabra is something that we had wanted to do for a very long time, before I got there, and everything else. So we made another pitch because we didn't have an HHN in 2020. So we use that opportunity to really work on these in a slightly different way. We did a lot of concept art and stuff that sometimes we don't have time to do. And since we knew that this one had never survived pitches before, we really threw down on trying to make this, you can't say no to it, super, super excited to work on this. So I worked with Manuel, and we developed like the whole story, the idea of, we were hashing it out with the team, trying to figure out, what story, because we can't just literally have the Chupacabra in every room. It's kind of like the movie Alien, right? I mean, like you can't, when it's a creature like that, if it's in every room, it'll just lose all its potency,
Yes.
period. And then came up with the idea of what if I like juxtaposition. I like kind of like the speakeasy stuff. It's a big party, right? But they're killing people, right? So for this to have the juxtaposition of what if you're like a tourist that gets off to go do an excursion on a cruise ship, and you're like, what's that little town on the hillside there that's got the fireworks going? I'm gonna go to that. Screw the excursion. And you go to that, and it's and this town throws this festival, and and I see it clear as day in the movie, where this elderly lady greets them and like talks to them. They don't understand anything but like the words Chupacabra and festival, and they're like, oh cool, and they see the paintings of the Chupacabra, and they lure people there so the Chupacabra feeds on them. And, we came up with the idea of the Chupacabras are bloodsuckers. So the people that are there, they put buckets of human blood and stuff out front of their doors. So the Chupacabra will only, won't go in your door. We'll just go there. And in my brain, you see the fireworks that were constantly going off, so it's like this festival, but there's all these screams and the sounds of the Chupacabra barking and stuff. And in the movie, in my brain, there would be these awesome scenes where, people are being herded through these festival goers who are, have all their stylized Chupacabra masks on that are basically funneling you into the mouths of the Chupacabra. And then interspersed with that, there would be like, some of the older folks in the town would have all the kids for a fun fireworks display, and they're like shooting firecrackers and keeping the kids safe in one area, so the kids have no idea what's going on around them. You know what I mean? So you'd have somebody screaming and getting mauled to pieces, and then the fireworks go, and then the camera would cut, and there's this little kid like laughing and celebrating in front of the firecrackers.
Love it.
That's how in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to have a word with Jason Blum. I think we need this Chupacabra movie doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and so then it's the people, because at first we were like, I was like, is it like a cult? Do they worship it? Do they so-and-so? There was like, nah, I think they're scared of it too, and it's their, they do this to celebrate, or not to celebrate, but they do this mock celebration almost as a yearly thing. And that's how they satiate the Chupacabra or Chupacabras, as the case may be.
As an appeasement.
As it goes. But yeah, that one was a blast to work on, because there was so much passion from Manuel to want to get it made.
Yeah.
And then trying to craft a story that made sense, and it, because it's real easy to be like, oh, cryptids, right? Chupacabras, let's do a house, right? But like, what do? You're out there and goats are getting their blood sucked out of them. You know what I mean? You're trying to figure out, like, how do we put the humans in this? How do we make the characters so people care? And Chupacabras, I was very happy with that. Very happy with the reception I've seen people get online so far, at least, especially like in a lot of the walkthroughs and stuff. But I really enjoyed that one. Again, I like vibe.
Yes.
So that immediate vibe of creepy person out front, weird masks, party and festival going on. What is that shadow in the corner of a beast?
Yes.
Yeah, especially with that entrance there and having the fireworks, and it just feels so grand, and you automatically know you're in a false sense of security, happy place. Like it's just it's immediate, and no words have to be spoken. You just feel it.
Yes, that's the ticket right there. Yeah. If the whole thing is to sell your movie, you got to be able to pitch it in like 90 seconds, or even better if you can do it in a sentence or whatever. And that's the HHN equivalent. Is that the first experience is, oh, I absolutely get what is about to happen.
I love this house for my first walkthrough, because the night I did it for the first time, Tracy and Jade had actually gone back to the hotel, so it was me and our oldest.
Was in trouble.
We went through it, and I was just like, that is phenomenal. And to be fair, our listeners don't speak for us, because it's quite low down. And as I say, I'm very incredibly
All
not
right.
happy with them. I don't care. I don't care.
I do.
I don't like where they have it. And I keep, every time a list comes in, I hope someone's got it higher to push it back up because it should not be where it is.
No, I agree.
I think I had it at 3.
Are you refreshing and signing up for new emails and voting yourself?
No,
I am
No, I
now.
wouldn't possibly do that.
It was my number 2, but to be honest, I wasn't allowed to join 1.
Such a good house. Like Chris said, just the atmosphere of walking, and then that central sort of
Oh,
town
the
square
square,
in the
that's
middle was
beautiful.
so good.
Sell us tickets
Oh.
to hang out there
Yeah.
and just hang out, grab a beer, and talk
Yeah.
in that one little town area, the downtown you want to call it. I mean, it was just fantastically, set up and designed.
Yeah, that downtown, that's perfect. It's so cool to see that because it's like, this is exactly like we talked about. You know what I mean? Like you like that. Manuel did such a great job, and again, he cared so much, and he also worked on designing the creature itself. And Manuel, little known fact, I don't think I mentioned this ever on Do the Pod with you, but he and I went to the same university.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I went to the same university my mom did, so I was like, my mom went. And then in between my mom and I, Manuel went, and then I went. So we knew all the same people. And I even went back, I guess my first or second year when I was working with him, and to go take a picture of his name up on the wall for outstanding senior
Cool.
the year he graduated. And I was like, wait a minute, I'll get a picture. And then I'll send you a picture of my name for when I graduated as an outstanding senior. So we're the only people who got to wear our ECU stuff every day time we had a game weekend and watch us lose again. But we did beat UCF though this past weekend.
Woo. Ah.
Yeah, it was
Go
funny.
Pirates.
There's so many houses this year that have that big grand set piece in the middle. The
Yeah.
2 we're going to talk about next,
Yeah.
very specifically as well.
But just sticking with this, I have a confession. I did not spoil. I like to think I enhanced the house for some people because I came out that wanting to play Crash Bandicoot
Oh,
because Aku. There's a few people walking through making the noises every time they saw the mask.
Wait a minute. Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. Okay. Yep. Wow.
Sorry.
I just had to jog my memory just now and Google that real fast. I went,
Yes.
oh, no, I absolutely remember exactly what you're talking about.
Oh,
Chris
That
is the one that spoilt it for us when he made his Rick and Morty reference to what the
Oh.
Chupacabra looked like.
Blake, are you a Rick and Morty fan?
I am. I don't think I've caught all of this current season though. I got to catch up. But
No, not this season. Previously, when I first saw the Chupacabra, and I forgot which one specifically, I just go, "Oh my god, it's Rage Mode Squanch!" Like that, and I could not unsee it, and I just loved it so much every time I saw it. I just kept on laughing. It was amazing.
your squanch is welcome.
Yes,
see, this house has levels.
it really does. Yeah, that's
That's amazing. Only because like it couldn't have been further away from any thoughts. That's so funny. You know what I mean? Like that's hysterical. But now that you've said it, yeah, I totally see it.
Now, the penultimate house you worked on is one I know you and I had talked about, Blake, and
Sorry.
I know you were super excited for me to see it. And not having seen any of the previous Halloween houses, I was excited to see the original. And that is obviously John Carpenter's Halloween. It was so good. I'll tell you how good it was. Our oldest did his hype list, and he had Halloween at number 10. Now, why that's a big deal is he had bugs at number 9, and he is a huge buggerphobe, whatever that word is. Right? He didn't
Pretty
even
sure
go.
there's another word for that.
He didn't
Yeah.
even go through bugs eaten alive. He would not touch it.
No.
We tried to get him to go. He's like, I'm not going through it. Chris talked to him, and he's like, no, there's no way he's going through that.
I think
house.
Chris just made it worse.
And the fact that Halloween was below that was his number 1 in the end.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
He loved it. And to be honest, it was phenomenal.
I would just like to say thank you because Halloween is my favorite Halloween movie, like scary movie. And this, I expect it to deliver, can't speak, and it way surpassed any expectations I had. It was perfection.
So good.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Yeah. Even to go along with what Lee said, I actually had this at number 10 on my original list,
Mm-hmm.
only because I've been going to the event since 2003. I've seen Halloween, multiple iterations, like the movie, but I'm like, you know what? I've seen this before.
Yeah, you know what to expect.
It jumped up so damn high on my list after going through it, just because it was just a fun house to go through. It's a slasher house. It's just pop scares all over the place. The set design just out of this world. You have a giant house in the middle of the whole thing.
Exactly. That goes to
I mean, it was
in.
just
With
so
fog.
good. And I was very shocked, like myself, to like leave that house and I go, wow, this is like the best iteration I've seen of this.
You're so used to going into a house like that and having the house as the entrance facade, but to change that up and put it in the middle was just fantastic.
That makes me super happy because I knew we were fighting an uphill battle because people would say, I've seen Halloween a bunch already. You know what I mean? And so I was like not shocked at all when sort of the conversation online was like, you know, I'm the least excited for this one. But I was really excited. Well, one, I'm excited. I had told you guys on previous pods I've been on, like that was definitely my gateway into horror, period. And I love this movie. And, you know, again, sitting down to rewatch it again for the house. And I actually watched it at home. My wife to just do I always try to do just like I'm not doing this for work. I want to watch something again just for fun and then get into it. And, you know, I try to tell myself that I'm not going to start thinking about things, but, you know, sometimes you can't help it. But I didn't, because it's so, God, that first movie is so tight and it is so good. And there's just no fat on it. You forget how little fat there is until you're really watching it again. And I just was so jazzed to work on it again, for us to work on it again, so that I could work on it for the first time, and then to look at, you know, what are some scenes that we can do that we've never seen before, because we are in a sound stage as opposed to you know, a tent when it had been done prior. And I was really happy. This was one that when it came to the layout of the scares, I was like, I think there's some really good scares in here. I think this is going to get people in some good ways. And then Michael's the shape, as he is, the shape of Michael is so good in houses because the suit is so dark that it's the face you see first.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it just, I mean, it's why it works in the film so easily, you know, and there's a reason that, you know, Jason got a hockey mask and everything else later. And it works so well in those haunted houses. Like it's so perfect. I was super stoked to work on this. This was very fun to try and figure out what we could get in that hadn't been done before. You know, the whole outside the hospital with all the patients roaming around.
Yes.
And really trying to do, you know, the movie doesn't do this. The movie starts the title sequence, and then you go to the kid, right? But I think we did it. I kind of did it how I think if it came out now, it would happen, where you kind of do the kid bit, then the title sequence almost. And that's sort of how we did it with our little prologue at the beginning, and then, you know, getting into the actual Halloween title and then moving into the house. And I mean, this is one that I was super stoked about because in a way I was like, people that are going to have this so low on their list that come to the event a lot that it's almost like no expectation in a way.
Yeah.
So I was excited to work on.
Yeah. Now, speaking of being so low, something else I want to express gratitude for is I actually ended up going through this house in a wheelchair because I had a mobility issue.
A malfunction.
Yeah, that's mild malfunction.
It wasn't the two tequilas and the save your tears track that...
Sadly, it wasn't happy reason for being in. So yes, I ended up going through in a wheelchair with Chris very skillfully navigating me through. We didn't crash, but because I was lower down, I saw stuff that I'd missed when I'd walked through, and the fact that the houses are literally down to ground level, because we went past, there was a body on the floor that I was like, oh, there's a body there, I've never seen that one before. We've been through a few times at that point, hadn't we?
Yeah.
So yes, thank you very much for making sure that there's plenty of stuff low down for everybody, because I was very grateful for that.
I mean, I think the houses, like in general, like there's so much
detail
to see that you just can't take in on the wall. I mean, that's why the, you know, the behind the screens tours are so popular. There's so much to see. There's so much detail, you know, and sometimes I tell you, like a peek behind the curtain, it's a real struggle because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I don't care what your project is, you know, if you're project managing building a building, or if you're project managing building, you know, houses for Halloween Horror Nights, when it comes to entertainment, there's never enough time. There's never enough money. There's never enough people, because you can keep generating infinite ideas. You know what I mean? And you can always get to a spot where you're like, oh my gosh, but we could also do this, right? And you just can't do everything.
Yeah.
But one thing I think the reason that HHN works so well is the crew shoots so high. I mean, if we were to honestly tell you some things after on an opening night, we'd be like, man, I wish you could have seen these other things we wanted to do. But that's okay, because those other things tend to live in stuff down the road. For example, Chupacabra, right? That we tried to do that for a long time, and here it came in. But because they shoot so high for it, there's just this attention to detail. I had an old professor, and gosh, your listeners are going to be annoyed if I said this. I can't remember if I said this on a previous pod, but you always hear the expression, devil's in the details. Well, I did this directing class, and when I got my, final sort of thesis thing at the end of the year from him, he wrote, I did not like any of your choices. I put together and directed a Titus Andronicus from Shakespeare.
Okay.
That's fitting, right? It's all about cannibalism.
Yeah.
But he goes, I don't like any of your choices. I wouldn't have done any of these things, but you tied a bow on every choice you made so tightly, I can't argue against it.
Wow.
A+.
Wow.
God
That
is
is awesome.
And he says, God is in the details. And that is, I think that is why HHN continues to do so well. I'd love to tell you that, we wanted to make sure you could see stuff down here. The truth is we just wanted stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're just trying to do as much as you can. And then what's cool is that everybody cares. So like, yes, we're there in the beginning, really trying to shepherd getting the idea birthed, as it were. But like, all the way up to the end, new hands keep touching it, like the decor team who comes up with just insanely awesome stuff that adds just the nicest touches that sometimes it's the night before opening and you walk in and you see a house and you go, did you just put this in here? This piece is amazing. Like this little thing makes this scene perfect, like, or whatever. And especially when it is something like Halloween that, you have a lot of horror fans that do work back there.
Yeah.
And so they really put a lot of work and a lot of love into that. So I think that sort of desire to get as much out there is why those things work so well. They feel so immersive at the end of the day. It's because you try to do everything you can to cross every T, dot every I, and get every detail that you want in there. And in the end, we always want a million more details. But if we get 999,000 details, I guess that's pretty good too. If you were trying for a million.
I think it's testament to how good this house is. Like you said, people went in with really low expectations, but I think I've been, just because I'm a nerd, checking the wait times app when I'm sat at home,
Yes, you have.
having complete FOMO. But it is the house at Horror Nights that has had the most consistently longest wait time throughout the entire event.
100%.
It is normally 60 minutes or more every single night.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks if you want to go in through it 1,000 times
Well,
like
it
me,
is,
but
yes.
that is awesome.
Fair enough. I love Michael Myers though in this house. So
Yeah.
I was very excited to get to work with him. I'm actually behind on. I need to see Ends. We had friends visiting, so we haven't sat down to watch Halloween Ends yet. I need to watch that.
I'm hearing very mixed reviews.
Yeah, I am too. There were mixed ones about the previous one as well. So
We watched the first one out of this new trilogy and was like, that's enough for me.
some would say that would actually have been the best choice.
I've heard that, yes.
It did definitively, not to get on a tangent, it did kind of have an end. And then it was kind of odd. But anyway, I'll reserve judgment till I actually see it, but we'll see. We can do that on our podcast we never started, Lee, about Justice League.
Especially now we're getting another Man of Steel.
Yeah, I thought about you today. I can't believe that got announced, and I'm about to hop on a call.
This is going to derail real fast.
I know.
It's not.
We just talked about this during the break, by the way. I'm holding myself back at the moment.
Finally, it's not a surprise to us, Blake, and I'm sure it's not a surprise to you. But the last house we're going to talk about is most people's favorite house from this year, and that is Dead Man's Peter Winter's Wake. What an absolutely stunning Halloween Horror Nights house.
Oh my god, yeah. Let's just fangirl over it because that's what it deserves.
Blew me away.
This is awesome because when I wrote the short story, there was no house yet.
Really?
The one that got shared on the behind the what was it? Was it like Behind the Screens blog or something? I forget what it was.
It's the podcast that shall not be named, the official Universal podcast.
No. That short story is actually, that's not when it was. I wrote that short story like during the pandemic or just after.
Okay.
Because it posted on. Hold on a second. I think I got it handy right here.
Must be the Discover Universal blog then, was it?
I think so, and I can tell you in 2 seconds because it's like actually on my profile. It's still pinned. October 30th, 2020. That's grab a seat, you swab. Grab a seat at the deck, you swabs. Here be a tale I spun for the Dead Man's Wharf Scare Zone.
Interesting.
So if you go on my Twitter, you'll see that. So yeah, it was on the Discover Universal blog, October 30th, 2020, when we couldn't have a Halloween Horror Night. So we were going back and we were writing, supporting short stories for the different, things we'd worked on in the past. And so I worked on this one in 2020 for Dead Man's Wharf, the Scare Zone, which was, the first thing I ever wrote that was produced at Universal was the history marker sign that was out in that zone, which was important to me because my mom was an archaeologist, and every trip we ever took as a kid was, if we're going to Disney World, we stopped at 25 million of those history markers on the way down on the drive. But so the house was not a concept. So that short story that I think Laura read right on that.
Yeah, I've just found the blog post actually, and it is exactly that story.
Yeah, it is that story. It's October 30th, 2020. I remember my boss, TJ, was like, I thought it was a short story. I was like, I know. I just started and I had this idea and it's way longer than it probably should have been. But I don't know. Like if they said write a short story, my initial thought was, hey, instead of a short story, I'm going to write it because I write music and I play guitar and stuff. And I was going to write a sea shanty. I was going to write an old sea shanty style tune that kind of told the tale. And then I started noodling around writing, and then this little girl playing the violin popped in my head, and then then all of a sudden I was like, oh crap, I'm stuck in modern times now. It's this girl, and the idea of her going to toss her fiddle that she got tired of competing with on the night that the Scare Zone would have happened. Yeah. And I got way into it, and I was very happy and proud of that story. And then when we were looking at what are we going to do for the following year. Now, as I said, we started to get a kind of a jump on things because some things had already been completed, So as we moved into the reality that 2021 was going to be our first one. So I can't remember if we did that within a few months after that story would have been published or what it was, but we were talking about what we could do for another house. And then they were like, what about doing Dead Man's Wharf? And I remember they were like, hey, I got an idea. Pull up your short story, read it. And they made me do a friggin' dramatic reading of my short story on impromptu, which is very nerve wracking. And, the manager of the scenic designer was just like, that's it, man. That's it. This is what we're going to do. So we got right. This is what we got to do. But now that being said, obviously that's not the house. Right. So then we had to figure out well, what's the house? And so I worked with, Dylan Koloth, who's the designer, young guy, brilliant designer, loves Halloween Horror Nights more than anyone who thinks they love it the most does. I promise. He is so cool to work with. He's such passion for the projects. And he didn't work on that Scare Zone with me in 2016. That was a different designer. But I started noodling down the idea of a story. I was like, well, what if it's again, juxtaposition. Blake likes that a whole lot. So instead of it was this dark and stormy night, you don't think about thunderstorms and snow and ice necessarily together. That's not something you think of frequently. So trying to make this New England town that's like, it's shut down because it's the wintertime, so no one's there, and it's a sea town, and then you have the ice and snow on it, so that it looks different than what you would anticipate a beach town to look like, an old New England style beach town, because you would think of it only in the summer. There's lightning and thunder going on. It's sleet and rain. It's not so much the snow, kind of a thing. And we can actually put that on the costumes, like that. The crust of the ice and stuff can be on the pieces, so we can bring these looks back, but make them different, And the idea of how do we pass through? Maybe it's like the opening of the village you walk to. There's like, oh, we got a pub. Oh, and it's the captain's widow. Oh my God. Yeah. That's the statue that's out front. So the town's got so that's how that is. This captain from the short story that talked about his lady, that, there it is. And she died. They never saw her again. She was out there just playing that fiddle, waiting for him to come back, and bam, and to call him home. and you know, and all the pieces started to fall into place, and like, well, that's where you're going to meet him then, in the pub right when you first go. And you know, Dylan was really adamant about we had to have a lighthouse that you could see through the entire house.
Yes.
And it would spin in a circle. And that's a perfect example of that is a pain in the butt, but a creative thing that like fought so hard to make happen. And when you see it, you can't imagine it done any other way.
Oh, Chris commented every time we went through that being able to see that lighthouse throughout the entire house wasn't it, Chris? That was something you commented on an absolute ton.
Yeah.
So like I fangirl over this house. I spoke about it way too much on previous episodes of the podcast, but I have no problem talking more about it.
No, it's awesome.
This house, you want to talk about a vibe? This house is straight up vibe from the moment you walk inside. Like you mentioned, seeing that lighthouse overarching the entire event or the entire house, right? You see it from everywhere. Hearing the music already setting into the tone.
Yeah.
And it's not heavy music like we're used to.
No,
It's not.
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's haunting.
honestly,
Haunting, exactly. Yeah.
Haunting.
It is.
Did you guys do the Scare Zone in 2016? They were so scared.
Yes.
I had the idea of doing this sort of melancholy classical music, and they were so scared that the higher ups would not like it. And that when they got in the zone, we walked out, and the Grand Poobah was like, you know, normally I don't think I would do that, but I don't know. That just works. That fits. And so I was like, that has to be in the house. We have to do that.
You tied the bow too tight.
And that's what led to in the short story going, well, this girl plays classical music. She competes. That's where this comes from. That's why that music was played, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean, it's the house is an homage to I think the years and culmination of what you guys have been doing at Horror Nights and just putting it all together. It's such a fantastic story. The effects in there are out of hand. The scare actors, everything. Is it the scariest house? No, it's not. It's not meant to be, I don't think. It's just a fantastic story that gets told over the course of 4 minutes that you're walking through. It's just phenomenal.
When we determined that the facade, although to be honest, that house feels like it's nothing but facade after facade.
Yes, it really is.
But we determined that the facade, that to recreate the ship from the wreck in 2016 as the next to last room. And then it was like, she has to be on the deck playing the fiddle. And like the concept art that was done was so good. And it's like, are people going to like this? Because I'm going on, this is a movie I would watch all the time.
Yeah.
And so you start to worry like, okay, this makes sense to me. And I get it. You know, people want scary. I'm quote unquote burning a performer that's not doing a scare, but they're doing something very cool up there. Like, is this gonna work? And like the reactions have definitely shown that they do.
Yeah, but there kind of was a scare with there because they did the whole thing with the black light. So she's up there playing the violin. And then kind of lurches over that black light and it lights up that white dress she's got on. Was a bit of a scare. And even though it's so far away, it still really worked.
Because it's such a gentle scene. I know there's like, you know, they got the storm raging, but it's a very gentle, it's a very romantic scene actually.
Well, to see all the destruction, to see like creepy creatures, but you have this music that is very gentle, that is very romantic. Like that, to me, it's always like, that is where I live in storytelling, is like trying to make the juxtaposition, put the opposites together and like see what can happen. Cause that's just so much more interesting.
Yeah.
And to me, like that bit would be the scene in the movie everyone would remember. You know, even if that's not quite the climax, that's the bit they'd remember.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
All right, that's it, Blake. We need a short film on this.
We do.
I would watch it in a heartbeat.
If I had my druthers, that is one thing. I was like, can we not get like a video wing under that? Maybe it's marketing and a bit of art design, and we make little short trailers, films, or whatever for some of these things.
Yes.
Yeah, but the violin music. Like with the lighthouse where you can see, you keep seeing that or the light beam flashing above your head, you would hear strains of the violin as you're moving through that house. So again, pardon the pun, it was another anchor point for the whole house and just pulled it together.
It was that first walkthrough for us when you see her on the ship and you're like, that's cool, there's a boat. And then you go through
that
kind of...
I'm pretty sure that wasn't what we said when we saw it.
Archway.
I think it started with Holy.
There's a whole... I was going to say, there's a whole ship there. It's like, what the hell? Like, it's just unreal.
And even keeping with the tone of just that sad, just overarch. That's like, it's just this vibe, right? Even walking through when you're going down under with the ship.
Yeah, and I love that.
It's almost
descent.
like you're accepting your fate of death. Like it's not a scary thing. You're just so in this like mindset of solace. It's just, yes, let's just go down under the water and die.
Which I imagine if you're sitting in a crazy stormy sea and at some point you realize that's what's going to happen, everyone has to stop scrambling at some point.
Yeah, you just
accept
resign
it.
yourself. Yeah, because I did love how like the plastic dividers going through eventually became big swathes of seaweed that you were pushing through instead, and I loved that. And I was amazed how many people didn't actually notice that.
I didn't.
You know, and it's because it wasn't immediate. It was just like a slight curve to the the curtain, and then it would get more and more until it was a proper big wavy shape. And I noticed stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
I always say, like, not everybody notices those things, but their brains do. The back of their brains do, you know?
Yeah.
This is why I don't get scared, though. I'm too busy looking at these things and I miss all the scares.
I completely empathize with that part.
Yeah.
I have
to do little pity screams every now and again. Oh, yes, you got me.
We had a shout out to Thomas, our good friend Thomas Wagner, who came on the RIP tour with us. He was super happy going through the section where you go in like the boathouse thing with it. That we got told that was apparently like all stuff from the old Jaws queue.
Yeah.
And he was like super excited because it's like a little bit of Jaws still remains at Universal.
Oh yeah, when Dylan designed there was a bunch of like, I think we even called it Quint's Shack as a behind the scenes thing.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure I've ever been rained on in a house before.
It was just like that house hit every sense throughout the whole thing. Yeah. Sight, sound, what? I mean, I said one of the things that blew my mind.
I was just going to bring it up.
Is you go up a ramp. I don't think I've ever been through a Halloween Horror Nights house where you're not on flat ground, that you actually go up a ramp onto the ship.
You're on a sinking ship.
I know, but I was just like,
your deck is askew because you're sinking.
It was amazing.
See, that's one of those things Dylan is so good at. He knows at this point B what he wants to happen, and it's like, but you'd have to do something to get them up there. He's like, okay. He doesn't bat an eye about that kind of thing. He's so good. Like Dylan is just he's an amazing dude to work with, and again, I cannot convey the amount of passion. I worked with him. It was the first thing he and I did together, because for a while he didn't do this. I wasn't doing the houses and he wasn't doing the scare zones, and then we worked together on Vanity Ball together for a scare zone, and he was super passionate about that as well. And I was like, I can't wait to do a house with you. And then we got to do this house together. Like, it was a blast. It was so much fun.
You could definitely see the passion. Oh,
without a doubt.
And like we've talked about this before, how Horror Nights is a type of event where it's there 1 year or just 2 months only, right? And then they're gone forever. Those houses are
it's
gone.
a tragedy.
It's crazy.
And this is going to be, for me, one of those houses that I will truly remember and talk about it 10 years from now when talking about, remember this Horror Nights? Yes, I do. I remember getting rained on.
Yeah.
Spoilers right now. On our listener rankings list, this is number 1. I won't say what our number 2 is because I want to leave it for the full reveal. But number 2 has nearly twice as many points. So obviously the lower points, the higher it is, has nearly twice as many as Dead Man's Pier.
Wow. Okay.
It's not even close.
This was my number 1. Straight away, there was...
Hang on. I'm going to be honest. Blake, she fought... To be fair, you're not going to be super...
This is probably never lets me finish a sentence. Straight off, this was my number 1 by a long shot. And then I went through Chupacabra. And then
started fighting me on the fact that I don't let have a...
Yeah, he's just evil. He wouldn't have a joint number 1.
I'm happy with either one you choose, since I worked.
And to be honest, I still flip flop over which one, because they're both such strong and beautiful houses.
I think Chupacabra had the better scare elements, whereas Dead Man's Pier was
But
just-
Chupacabra, that's one of the legends that I
Yeah.
love, and I've read so much and watched so many programs about it as well, and it delivered for me.
It's funny, isn't it, how it took this long for them to do that? Like you say, Blake, that you've pitched Chupacabra for so long and that they've never bitten down on it, even though, pardon the pun, that those things are just
That was
sat
bad.
there. It wasn't even on purpose, to
I
be
know,
fair.
I can tell.
Those things are there for the taking. When you look, and I love this year, and I don't know how, like, what the thing behind it was, but it's like, I'm liking the fact that I'm hoping it's a conscious decision of moving away from IPs a little bit more and doing more originals. Obviously,
Yeah.
last year was different, but it's been a long, long time where the balance of power has swung over to there being more original houses than there are IPs.
Yeah, it's I mean, obviously, you know, we get to go bonkers with the originals, and they've been rating so high
Yeah.
recently.
They've been knocked out
I
of the
feel like
park.
Scarecrow the Reaping was a turning point for originals. Not that there haven't been great originals up to that point, but
Yes.
people really talked a lot about it. Of course, you know, obviously things are different than 15 years ago. Yes, social media is so much more prevalent.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
actually can see more of the opinions and what people are thinking and that kind of stuff. And clearly, Scarecrow the Reaping was you know, was a big deal. And I feel like that was a turning point, you know, and another one would have been, well, not a turning point, but like carrying that torch on and further would have been Wicked Growth. You know, people really responded to
killing
that
me.
so well.
The two houses,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I wanted to do more than
Yeah,
any
that
others.
killed
And I'm
us.
like, oh no.
Yeah, those are definitely ones that I feel like, you know, makes it so that you can go do the Chupacabra pitch, because even if a higher up doesn't, it's not their cup of tea, like they've seen what you've done and they trust your judgment on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm.
I suppose kind of
Um,
Yeti was kind of that phase as well, where you've done that sort of urban legend
Oh, it's done so
as well, and Yeti was amazing.
Yeah, I don't think anyone thought, just hearing Yeti, like, oh, that'll be a really good, fun, and scary house. Like,
Oh.
I don't know that anybody necessarily thought that.
That's the best set piece I've ever
It was
seen.
amazing.
I love that house.
Yeah.
Yeti was so great. That arm rip off scene thing
Yeah.
made me so happy. And the door that opened, both those bits. made
The
me
best
so-
one was still
And-
the Yeti with a hand through the chest. That was, I applauded that scene
Yeah.
every time.
We didn't care how
He
much we
still
got
talks
screamed
about
at
that
to
scene.
do.
Oh, I
We
love
stood
it.
and watched it. We were rebels.
We did that house
It needed attention.
at the back end of our RIP tour at like 10 to 2 in the morning. There
We were
was
the last-
nobody in
we
front of us.
closed
There
it,
was
didn't we?
nobody behind us, and we got to do that house at our pace, and it was just
It was perfection.
the perfect run through. And even all the actors were, because we were proper hooping and hollering and
Yeah, I think they
like
enjoyed it.
applauding, even like their energy, even at like 2 a.m. was still really, really high.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was nice to be able to take the time to actually show appreciation for it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I love when
um,
you can actually do that.
yeah.
I mean, I would cheat all the time going through there and hold up to watch.
course.
things.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
You know,
It was-
and I'm sure the characters are like, I'm gonna try to get Blake, and like they don't, because I'm too busy. Like if they jump up, I'm like, whoa, that's a good job, dude. I'm so like not making a scary face at all, you know.
But yeah, just a super solid year overall this year, and the fact that you worked on, let's say, 3 of the the top 5 houses, yeah, they were just so good, and you'll be a miss, Blake, I'll be honest.
yeah.
Big time.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
man. I mean, it's like I said, it was a hard thing to step away from, for sure. But then I'm also weird, and my brain goes, what else can I do now?
Yeah.
And I have to like
Human nature.
go challenge myself to go
Yeah.
to go do something else. And this is a totally different
Mhm.
thing. It's so new. It doesn't have all the infrastructure. I'm like, oh, I got this, I just need this kind of decor thing. And I look around and go, like, I guess that's me right now until we
Yeah.
actually grow this
Yeah.
team. So I guess I'll do that. So there's a lot more hands-on and, aspect that's quite enjoyable with this.
Yeah.
I did reach out to my, the producer, who, gosh, has been the producer for pretty much the entire time I was there working on Halloween Horror Nights, and said, I would like to formally apologize to you and the decor specialist for my pumpkin requests, because I have just had to source 450 hand-carved pumpkins as well as pumpkin sculptures, and boy, that was a pain in the ass.
Wow.
And I'm sorry. And he just sent back. He was dying. It's like, man, woof. I did not know what I was asking for when I said, let's put pumpkins in all the trees. This will be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I did it to myself. I was like, look at all these these beautiful trees up here at night. We can make this fun Halloween village. And let me tell you, like, because hand carving a pumpkin is just as almost time consuming as a real pumpkin.
Oh,
there's no short way around that.
Oh.
So yeah, finding enough of those. That's quite the chore. I'm definitely learning a few things on the other side of the producing side of things now.
Yes.
Definitely
You're not the one
learning
that can
to-
just demand things and expect
Yeah,
them.
just
Now
appears.
you've got to actually, oh yeah, I've got to go and get all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to stick with your story that I demanded things at Universal. And they just
Yeah.
I'll stick
The
with that
magic
story.
just happened. Yeah.
I mean, if you talk to my sister, she will definitely disagree with that.
Yeah. There is another positive to you moving away. Now Lee and I are going to come and see a different state.
I will tell
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, surprise, we're coming to see you.
I will tell you now, Blake. There's not a hope in hell you will get Tracy on that ski lift going up that mountain.
Well, you might
So
get...
Let me
give
give
it
it some
a try.
tequila and we'll talk about it.
I was going to say, give me tequila. Yeah, we're fine.
what I'll
Actually, no, we're
do
over
is
there.
take you.
No. Whiskey.
I'll take you to downtown Gatlinburg to the old smoky moonshine tasting experience.
I'm in.
We go there
I'm packing.
first,
Yep.
and then we also have these Rambler truck. We'll put you in the truck and take you up there.
Yeah.
The ski lift is awesome.
It
Like,
does
it's its
look
own
cool.
experience.
I would have to do it just once, but that might be the only time.
It's the fact that it goes so slow.
However,
and is open
and this
up.
is where I'm a bit weird. You did say there was no quick way down. May I suggest a zip line?
Yeah.
Well, we have 4.
Oh, there you go. I can get down quick then. I've never done a zip line, and I am going to do one.
Oh well, these are pretty awesome. Like you zip all around the mountain, and then the last one you actually rappel down.
Cool.
Oh, that's a bit. I don't know
Yeah.
about that though.
I may have to make a little visit out here.
I know.
Yeah,
I
it's
think we
pretty
need a trip.
cool. I'm
Um,
telling you guys, it's cool. You want to come out for a visit? Come on
Yeah.
out.
Oh, it will happen at
Yeah.
some point.
Come on
Um,
out. And then I got them just bring a couple microphones. We can just come over to my place. I got the studio set up.
That would
We'll
be
do
awesome.
Another episode.
Yeah,
That
we're doing
is
the
so
unofficial
cool.
Anarchista podcast.
Yeah. It was this we were watching with the bears, wasn't it?
Yes. So there's
Yeah,
that
the
weird
bears.
single
It's almost like a
rail
toboggan type thing, isn't it?
coaster thing that goes down the side of the mountain,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then just random bears playing like around it.
Yep. So my first day at work, I was at lunch and I texted my wife and said, it's the first time I've ever been given an SOP about bears before. This is interesting. And they kept, because the people that own Anarchista, they developed a when the wildfire happened, so many houses and property got destroyed here.
Yeah.
And they were trying to add some housing back to the area, and they had built a large, like I'd say, apartment complex. That means something in Florida. Then it's different than here. It's much quainter and cool and nicer.
Yeah.
In that respect, I think. And that's where they put me and my family up while we were looking for a place to live for the first. Well, it was supposed to be 3 months, but it's the year 2022, so it took 5 months. To find
You've
it.
told this story on the Brutal Game, haven't you? I've heard you about putting putting the trash out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you told me.
Yeah.
Hold on. I haven't
I
heard
know,
this
I
yet.
know,
let
Sorry,
me tell
I'm in it.
Yeah,
right
me
now. Come on.
too.
So literally, they're like, "Oh yeah, you see bears." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Well, week goes by. People were. He had your bear encounter yet? I was like, "No, I haven't. Week 2 goes by. Nope, sure haven't. We're at 2.5 weeks now, and it's like 10:30 at night, and my wife's getting the kid to bed, and I'm taking the dog out for a walk around, and I've got dogs on my right, left hand's got a cell phone, and I'm walking down the parking lot toward the bottom of the mountain of Anarchista, which is. It's not the side the public goes up, but it's the coaster side. Like I see people riding back up the coaster from there, basically. And 2 cars to my right, and it's dark, and I'm talking. I'm gonna take them all the way around the apartment complex. And I look down at my phone for something, and then I look up, and like a horror movie, like I don't know, 10 feet or whatever in front of me, this big black bear mama just steps right out between the 2 cars and just stops in front of me. And my dog, who is an enormous yapper of a dog, is just.
Yeah.
Like he's just
God.
and I was like, okay. And I was like, it's cool, boy. And I'm like, my brain's going, you don't look him in the eye. Do you look him in the eye? No, you don't look him in the eye. Big makes a big or loud noises. Well, she's chill right now. So I'm just going to, and then I'm looking, I'm like, there's a house to my left. could I get on that porch in enough time to at least give me some elevation? And she can only go up the stairwell. I'm like, my brain is like playing 1,000 things as I just start slowly. And I had my phone in my hand. I actually was trying to like get the shortcut of the camera out to actually see, like, 'cause I didn't think nobody's going to believe me. And then I go slowly backing up, and she just kind of shrugs her shoulders, turns around, like bops into the car, and then just climbs up this sheer other mountain that's like adjacent to Anakees, and just goes right up. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, I was adrenaline pumping. I was out of my friggin' mind. I don't think I went to bed till 2 a.m. And
That's
then for the
wild.
next like 2 weeks, so many bear encounters.
Wow.
Like constant, where I was like all the time at work, wherever. I'm like,
You know
hey,
why,
there's a mama
don't you?
with 2.
Because
why is
that first mama saw you and went, go back and tell all the others, there's this guy lives up there, scared the crap out of him. You need to go and see him.
It's hilarious.
It's brilliant. So everyone's like, hey, there he is.
Go get this dude. And I'm just like, holy cow. And then like 4 days later, there's just like bang, 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 bang. And I was like, someone didn't put, because all the trash receptacles here are locked, right?
Yeah.
You latch them. I said, somebody didn't latch the top. And sure enough, bear is sitting on butt on one of the cans, hand on the other, just trying to open it, like just over and over. 10:30 at night, loud as could be. Black bears are like teenagers. That's what I discovered.
Okay.
Yeah. They want food. They want chips. They want anything to get their hands on.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not a teenager, and that sounds good to me.
Well, it's the way they get them of trying to break into trash can stuff that you're just like, you guys, there's like a bunch of little punk kids like running around. And now it's just like, you know, why are we stopping the car? It's probably a bear up ahead. Yeah, it's a bear. Like you're just like,
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like seeing
it
a
is what it
gator
is.
in Florida now. Yeah, it's just a gator.
Well, because like so the next day at work, I was like, oh, I had my first encounter. And they were like, oh, there you go. And then like 3 days later, I opened the back door of my office and went, huh, as this big mama was leaned against the door jamb, and she just looks at me, like her back against, I'm like, click. Security guy's like, it's a bear. I was like right there, dude.
Wow.
Like, she's next to that. Like literally, I brushed her fur to shut this door back. And you know, like it's wild, but I mean, hey man, it's a national forest. It's their home.
Yeah.
They're like, you know.
Wow.
And that, which is also why they're so particular up here, like about, you'll see the stuff like fed bear, dead bear. Do not feed the bears. Do not feed the bear. Like that's like a big thing that's burned into all the locals here. The locals are very big about taking care of all the bear population.
Yeah.
Well, that took a tangent, didn't it?
Well, it still kind of fits in the horror realm because that was I mean,
Cool
it was.
story.
I can see it in the movie of the camera panning down to the dog, panning up, nothing. Panning down to the phone to see the text that just came up, and then looking up, and bam, like it's right there. Yeah, it was the
jump scare.
the horror equivalent of the guy behind the refrigerator door. You know that one that always gets done over and over. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, before we wrap up, I'm going to reiterate a point that we were making earlier. Blake, it is currently 6 o'clock in Florida. I am looking at the wait times for Halloween Horror Nights. The longest wait, other than Halloween, is currently 35 minutes. Halloween is currently at a 60-minute wait.
You know what's really makes me happy about what you said, though? You didn't throw out a crazy, like, 4-hour wait, which means there's while that's popular, it means there's a good dispersion amongst the whole event.
Yeah.
And that's good. That means there's enough people like across the board that it's, you know, was where, you know, if you have a year where it's like there's 3 houses that always have a 2-hour wait. Well, that means that, you know, the balance isn't very good with the other houses.
There was always, I always remember going to 25 and Run, Blood, Sweat and Fears never being more than about 10 or 15 minutes, which was so sad because I loved that house.
Yeah, Run was great.
Yeah.
Which means means we get to go through it a lot of times, where it's sad when you see that one house that kind of doesn't get the love that the rest of them are getting.
But like you say, like just like that even dispersion of time, of wait times.
Yeah. It
just shows what a strong year it actually is.
It is a really, I'd say, if you want to see the list that our listeners have been sending in, the numbers for the houses are all over the place. One person's number 1 might be someone else's number 10. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, even you were talking about the lowest rated. You were like, yeah, it just wasn't scary like I wanted. But man, that first half of Coven I love.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
that's true.
That's a pretty good place to be in, actually. Like, yeah. No complaints there. Like,
anyway,
yeah.
Look at all the things we learn each year. I mean, that's actually the coolest other thing too about Halloween Horror Nights is like every time someone's like, it's never better than it was 10 years ago. I'm like, well,
yes,
but if you could literally time travel and walk between the two, your least favorite house is probably better looking this year than some of the better ones 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's because you're not noticing and the same thing happens to us who are working on it, right? Sometimes it's like, working out, like you don't notice those changes. You kind of have to go back to those long ago before pics and stuff, but and it also too, like the first one you experience is always so much more defining. But like, for example, some of the costumes and makeup and stuff are on the streets are so much vastly better now.
Yeah.
Even in years that were good, but the quality of what they're doing with the prosthetics and the masks and the makeup, so much better now, just because they've had they've had the time to learn it. And people who were fans 20 years ago are like now working on it, and being those makeup designers and artists and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Now, that's not knocking the 10 or 20 years ago.
No,
that's because that's still the best for Halloween at that time,
Yeah.
And so you just keep getting better and learning. And
of course.
that's like, I think that's the most fun thing about the whole shebang. And then usually there's something you're like, well, this will never work. And then 5 years later, 10 years later, you go, let's try that one thing, but look at it a little different. And it works,
Mm-hmm.
If you're not evolving, there's a problem, isn't there? So
Yeah, it has to. And that's the one thing. It's weird. Like we've talked about this and Universal, that it's like the theme park experience is one now that is becoming every attraction has to give you the same experience. So it means every person going through it gets the same experience. It's why they've taken your things like Jaws and kind of actor-driven, so disasters, stuff like that. So you've gone to rides like Transformers and Spider-Man, where if that's your one chance of riding that ride, you come out for that once-in-a-lifetime vacation and you get to ride that ride once, that you will get the perfect experience going through it. And that's what the theme park experience is coming to now. That it's the same experience for everyone. Whereas something like Halloween Horror Nights kind of harkens back to how theme parks used to be. And you might go through a Halloween Horror Nights house and hit on a cast change where it's not quite there, or
we did.
the actors are having a bad night and they're not quite on point, and then go through it the next night and have like like just the perfect run through. And because that one before it wasn't great, it makes that one even better. So that getting that disparity between experiences isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a really good thing, because you never know what you're going to get going through.
If people are enjoying what they're working on, usually it's entertaining. But there's that whole thing with interactive entertainment, whether it's street performers, like literally interacting with guests out in the streets out there, like the new dance show and stuff that they're doing it in New York, or horror makeup, or the interactive that is Halloween, the getting scared and going through stuff. It's awesome because it's never the same. How many people go to horror makeup because it's not the same?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even though, to be honest, sometimes it's 98%, but that 2% that changed is killing people who've seen it a million times.
Yes.
Yeah. It's interactive themed entertainment. That's why I like that so much. Is it means a little something. Or people interpret or take in what they like and don't like, or what works for them, differently each time. And you can't please everybody all the time, but
That's very true.
you can have enough variety in your park experience that, well, I didn't really care for that, but I love these three things, whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Especially if you're putting all the love and attention on your end and trying to do something like that.
Yeah.
It's a fun world we all get to play in.
It makes you realize now, like having broken that down to look what it is, what a huge undertaking Halloween Horror Nights actually is. Like, I know the theme parks during the day are, but the rides run themselves for them. I know they don't, but you know what I mean. But it's completely like person driven. The entire event.
It would have to grow like it did. You could never convince a corporation on day one to go, hey, we're going to do 10 haunted houses, get thousands of characters. You know what people are like, what are you talking about? It had to be proven. Now, that being said, I guess a place now could say they want to do that and try it because
it's been proven.
Universal's
the example's there already.
Yeah.
But they still find it hard. Warner Brothers did theirs, and I think it was successful for what it was. I think infrastructure wise, they didn't know what they were getting into, when it came to food, bathrooms. You know, you're like, oh, I wasn't even
Yes.
thinking about that. You know what I mean?
They were concentrating on the actual thing itself and not thinking about the logistics surrounding it.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's crazy. I mean, we always say like everybody that applies to work at Universal in whatever form or fashion, you know, but I would love to work on Halloween Horror Nights. It's like, well, you work here, you do.
Yeah.
Because it affects everybody. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't, in some form or fashion, it is going to have some effect on your job there.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's cool to see many people enjoy it and love it, you know?
We have so many listeners complain every year about how much we cover Halloween Horror Nights. And it's like, look, we all love it, all four of us. And it is like, if you're talking about Universal Orlando, how can you not talk about Halloween Horror Nights? It is.
It's literally a temporary theme park that opens for 2 months every year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's wild.
With a year's worth of
crazy
planning.
when you put it like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Because it's its own little thing, you know, and kind of be honest. I mean, I'll be curious to see how, you know, how they're doing it this go around. But, you know, I felt like we were kind of getting even earlier than that. Part of it was because of COVID, but it was nice to get that, you know, jump on things that early.
I'm looking forward to see what it's like when they open it at Epic Universe.
Man.
Put that camera back on, Blake.
No, this one I can talk about because I don't know anything about this. My gut tells me I don't imagine they will for a while.
No, I don't think
because
they will.
you know it'll be the brand new shiny park, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want to go there. You know, I mean, my gut tells me that the year they open, whatever the Halloween Horror Night that follows it is going to be awesome because they're going to want to throw down to you know. On Halloween Horror Nights because it's, you know, it won't be the new shiny thing, but that's important. Like the new shiny things, right? With Star Wars Land. Oh God, that's not what it's called, but you know, Galaxy's Edge, whatever.
I'm glad you corrected yourself there. It's Disney. I wasn't care that much.
Yeah, but like, you know, it was the brand new shiny thing.
Yeah.
When Potter opened, it was the brand new shiny thing.
Yeah.
And Halloween Horror Nights gets the opportunity to give Universal a brand new shiny thing every year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it works here. It works on the West
That's a
Coast.
really good point.
You know,
Yeah.
it works in Singapore, works in Japan for that. They get to do something completely, totally different. God, Japan's still one I want to get out to and go experience.
Right. It is getting on. Thank you for joining us, Blake. As usual, it has been absolutely amazing and awesome to speak to you again. So I know that you and Lee have something planned. Apparently, I know this.
You should know this.
You and Lee have something planned to have you on again soon?
Yes, Blake, you and I need to talk about that little podcast that we discussed about the three attractions. I haven't done a ride that made me for quite a long time, and I want to do one with Blake before.
I see.
Yes.
Soon, actually, within the next month, really, I will pin you down and we'll get that recorded.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Before you leave, please plug Anarchista and, of course, the Brushful game.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, Anarchista, it's such a different experience. If you've never been, it's like the short pitch is it's a nature-based theme park that's a great introduction to outdoor adventure.
Love that.
I think there we go. With
That's an
beautiful
elevator
gardens.
pitch if I ever heard one myself.
Yeah.
It's very hard because the thing that's cool about them is they're a little hard to explain because nobody else is doing it. So that's also a good problem to have, you know. Really recommend it. If you like immersive storytelling, the Astor Lumina event that's happening now will happen through December. And then we'll take a break for the first couple of cold months of the year, and then next year, and then get things reopened again. But super cool. You can't experience that in the States anywhere else. And just, you know, anarchista.com, that's the normal one. And if you got questions for me, I'm a Twitter head more than anything else on social media. So I'm at Blake Braswell. I never got to say that on the old pod. Or the old job, I should say, not the old pod,
Yes.
same pod, old job. And yeah, I'm one of the co-hosts for The Brutiful Game, a footy podcast about mostly Premier League, but we also cover Major League Soccer and the NWSL Women's League here, and a little smattering of the big leagues in Europe, I should say, not the rest of Europe, but some of the big leagues in Europe. and beer, as hence The Brutiful Game. Every episode starts with a proper review of a good beer.
I do
And
like a
you
good
should
beer.
rest assured we record tomorrow, and I have got a brand new Halloween beer. I'm very excited to debut.
It is.
Ooh,
If you,
I didn't
it
think
is a
about
really
getting
good
Halloween
podcast.
beer. I will get onto that tomorrow.
It's a double chocolate peanut butter Halloween beer stout.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like a full meal.
Oh yes.
That's
Dessert,
make
buddy.
tomorrow's Guinness
Yeah.
pouring. Well, right. Okay. Let's wrap this up because
Yeah,
I know
hey,
what will
please
happen.
tell Michelle I was kidding about the barbecue. I'm sorry it made her hang up
Oh
and go
God,
away.
no, it didn't.
It was the barbecue insult. That's why she bailed.
Probably. Okay, so this is going to end. No, I don't like
I
saying
don't
this.
like hearing this.
This is going to end our coverage of Halloween Horror Nights this year. I'm very unhappy to say
I'm
that.
surprised because you're all like,
No,
Christmas
but it's
now.
Christmas. It's Christmas. I'm getting to see the Grinch at Christmas. I'm so excited. Yes. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to our sister podcast, Rush of Fear, to keep Horror Nights in your heart all year round. And we're going to end this episode with a Universal Is, and this one comes from Jonathan Jackson. But of course, if you'd like to get involved, just let us know what you think Universal is in 3 words or less and send them to podcast@uuopodcast.com. But for this episode, Jonathan says Universal is missing me already. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
That was another episode of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, the best and only podcast about Universal Orlando on the island. Check us out on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. For all the podcasts, news, and articles, check out our blog at uuopodcast.com. Contact us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. Join the Producers Club by emailing us at uuopproducers@gmail.com. Listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Check out our friends, the Theme Park Duo, for all your other theme park news, and email Michelle at portkeyvacations.net to book your next trip. So until next time, this is Amity 6, call off the Marines, we're coming home.